Hello, everyone. I'm Carissa Kim, and you are watching K12 CyberTalk, where we want you to stay aware to show you care. We are very excited that you're here today, and we have some very enlightening content. Just a quick reminder, all of these recordings are available to watch on our website at www.k12cybertalk.org. Make sure to follow our social media at K12 CyberTalk for more updates. For today's show, we have a very special guest, Matt Springle, who also happens to be an alumni from my high school, so I'm very excited for the interview segment. First, we'll start off with Cyber Bites from Amy, followed by our Tech Corner by Julie, followed by our interview conducted by Carter, and finally the opportunity section with me, so every one of you guys can partake in.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Bites. For today's news, we'll be going over a recent new macOS malware found on January 25th, 2022. This virus utilized the Safari web browser, using a watering hole attack to target pro-democratic people in Hong Kong who were active in the political sphere. A watering hole attack is where attackers will compromise a site that is most likely to be visited by their intended victim instead of outright attacking their group. The website, which was legitimate, belonged to D100 Radio, an internet radio station in Hong Kong that is pro-democracy. The hackers injected iframes, or otherwise known as inline frames, onto the website between September 30th and November 4th of 2021. An inline frame is an HTML element where you embed an HTML page into a current one. In the picture below, in the highlighted blue section of the code, you can actually see the iframe in this website. Another website with the URL fightforhk.com was also created to lure in these liberation activists. The code that was changed was used as a vessel to load a Mac-O file, an executable file, basically, by using a remote code execution bug in WebKit that was supposedly fixed by Apple in February 2021. WebKit is the browser engine that Safari uses, and the bug had more than 1,000 lines of code. Remote code execution is when the hacker can actually use commands on someone else's computer without physically being on the computer. When the WebKit remote code is successfully executed, it triggers the Mac-O file to start, which then exploits a local privilege escalation vulnerability in the kernel component in order to run the malware in the next stage as a root user of the computer. There are many big words in there, and to start off, local privilege escalation is when one user gains the rights of the host user. So now that the attacker has full access to all of the computer, they can even use parts of the computer that need the password because now they technically are the owner of the computer. The kernel is part of the operation system, and it manages the memory and the CPU time of a computer. The malware that was run and given to visitors of the D100 radio site is the macOS backdoor, and it's called Dazzle Spy. It allows the attackers to control and take files from the computer that they are hacking. They can also start a remote screen session, gain information about the computer, execute shell commands in the terminal, and delete itself from the computer. They could even record audio and take screen captures of the computer. There have been no updates on who actually created this website and this malware, and no one has been charged with anything yet. But there are suspicions that this was a government-funded project. So, how do you protect yourself from these kinds of attacks? Well, it would be best for you to stay up to date with your computer and its operating system. By always updating your computer to the newest version, you can install security patches and ensure that your computer won't be as easily hacked and targeted. That's all from me for Cyber Bites. See you next time and stay safe out there.
Hello. The topic of this technology segment is safe web browsing. Safe web browsing is important to protect yourselves from phishing attacks and scams and to help us stay safe online. The first step in browsing safely online is updating your web browser. When you update your web browser, you enhance the security features to protect yourselves from cyber threats. It's also important to block pop-ups and ads. Pop-ups open new browser windows to push ads. Most are just annoying, but some can contain links to phishing scams or downloading malware. Pop-ups and ads can be blocked by adjusting your settings of your web browser. Another important aspect of browsing is cookies. Cookies are bits of information left on your device by websites you have visited, which let them remember things about you. Cookies save preferences for particular websites, which can be helpful for online shopping or frequently visited sites. Cookies are unlikely to be dangerous, but websites using cookies can gather a lot of information about you. That's why it's important to be aware. It's also a good idea to turn on private browsing. Turning on private browsing helps maintain your privacy in your browser, and private browsing won't allow your browser to retain your browsing history, search records, and cookies. This game is called SOS FBI, which stands for Safe Online Surfing. This game helps students learn more about how they can browse safely online. The first thing to do is go to sos.fbi.gov and then click on the map. In the map, you can click on 1, which is the first step in the adventure. So the first step is safe surfing. The instructions say to help Daphne the panda ride the waves and stay on her surfboard. If you get enough correct responses, Daphne will reach the beach. If you get too many answers wrong, the surfboard will break and Daphne will have to start over. You can click play, and then a series of questions come up. The first question says, to surf the web safely, make sure your search is as blank as possible. The correct answer would be specific. You click on specific and then you can click submit. Making your web searches as clear and detailed as possible helps ensure that you don't come across unwanted results. Also, be sure to spell your search terms correctly. Then you can click continue. Then the next question will appear. The next question says, change the blank of your search engine or web browser to block inappropriate content. The correct answer would be settings. Click settings and then click submit. It's correct. You can change the settings of your search engine or web browser to block information not meant for young people. Ask a trusted adult if you need help adjusting the settings. Then click continue, and then the next question will appear. The third question says, if you come across something that upsets you during a web search, you should blank. The correct answer would be talk to an adult about it. You click submit, and it says the web has a lot of information and pictures not meant for young people. Talk to a parent or other trusted adult if you come across something online that scares or bothers you. Then you click continue, and then the next question comes up. The next question says, a website with blank in the address bar is considered secure. The right answer would be HTTPS. The S in HTTPS in the address bar stands for secure and helps protect a website from hackers. You should only log into or buy things from websites that use HTTPS in the URL. So that is the first few questions of the first step in the adventure, safe surfing. This game is great if you're looking to learn more about browsing safely online and safe online surfing. That concludes this technology segment. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the CyberTalk show. So glad you're here. I guess before we start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks for having me. Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a manager and DevOps engineer at PwC, and I'm also a lecturer at Cal Poly Pomona.
Awesome. So it's something like a tradition here. I have to ask you, in terms of operating systems, do you like Windows or Linux more?
Mac OS. That's that's the only answer I can give on that one. So
I like it. All right. So getting into the good questions. You just mentioned you work at PwC as a DevOps engineer. Could you speak a little bit more about what your day-to-day might look like?
sure. So as a DevOps engineer, I really like to consider myself a critical thinker and a problem solver. So, I really try and work with our development teams and our operations teams to build solutions that help improve our end user experience, help teams deliver more secure and sustainable solutions, overcome any challenges they might encounter. So whether it's building automation to deploy our infrastructure, or building or developing custom solutions to manage a migration or anything like that, it keeps me on my feet because I'm always learning and doing new things on a day-to-day basis.
So in a world that's kind of been dominated by a lot of security threats, whether by individual groups or larger ones, how would you say you incorporate security into your DevOps career?
Coming from a security background, coming from a security role in my previous organization, I've really been able to take my knowledge and experience and apply it to the automations and the things I do. When I build automation, one of the big things I try and do is, if I'm building like cloud automation, I try and make sure our initial cloud solution has security controls built in, whether it's, firewall rules, access control lists, anything that might enhance the security of the solutions we develop, while also maintaining, the other portions of, if you think of CIA, the triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, we want it to be confidential where it's important to be confidential, but we also want it to be accessible. So, finding the balance between all of those things and integrating those into your solutions is a really good thing. Making sure that you encourage other people to incorporate those kinds of controls. It's amazing that, even when you're working with professionals in the field, in technology, in security, how many people sometimes just forget about the really core fundamentals of, making sure you don't leave your passwords in like your code or in other locations. And then, working with them and really helping them understand, how security can be better implemented within their role on a day-to-day.
Awesome. So, upon graduating college, you got your master's, but I know you have some experience with both government and private sector work. So could you talk a little bit about the differences or similarities between the two?
Yeah, for me at least, I found government and private sector to be very similar. Especially when you work at large organizations. When I was in the government, I worked under the Department of Homeland Security at what is now the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Now I'm at PwC. Both are very large organizations. So, there are a lot of policies and a lot of, bureaucracy there that you're going to encounter no matter what environment you're in. They're both very heavily regulated. So a lot of that stuff is very similar between the two of them. I've had a lot of really good experiences at both. I think they both bring some unique challenges and opportunities, but for the most part, I found them very, similar as a whole. So.
And in your career, you have a bunch of certifications, whether it's CompTIA or AWS. So, just general trajectory of your career, how do you think those certifications influenced it?
I would say that my certifications have all been very much, I've had a goal and they've helped me to reach my goal. So, for example, I knew that I wanted to come back and teach at Cal Poly Pomona. Well, if I wanted to teach at Cal Poly Pomona, I needed a master's degree. To get into the master's degree, I found at George Mason University, which was their computer forensics program. What I realized is there were a bunch of prerequisites, not all of which that I had. But if you had certain certifications, they could check off the boxes for those prerequisites. So that's why I originally got my A+ and my Network+. And then my Security Plus I had an incentive at work where it made sense for me to go and get my Security Plus, because it's one of the government security certifications that they liked. So I went and got my Security Plus. And then, my AWS Cloud Practitioner. The course I was teaching at Cal Poly Pomona, a part of that course was the AWS Cloud Foundations. So I went and got my Cloud Practitioner so I could go and do my teach my Cloud Foundations course. So for me, it's always been a stepping stone towards the goals I wanted to achieve. So I think that that's really what certifications are great for, is helping you step towards the goals you want to achieve. If you don't have a lot of experience, certifications can be a really great way to demonstrate a core and fundamental understanding of, technologies where a lot of your peers who you might be competing with, don't have them. There's also a lot of really great ways out there, whether it's discount programs or what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Like academic, like pathways and scholarships to be able to get into and get your certifications paid for, because you shouldn't be paying for certifications yourself.
I love that take. So, you've earned your master's in computer forensics, and, that's a leg of academia. So really, what keeps drawing you back to academia as a lecturer at Cal Poly, earning that master's? What do you love about it?
I have always loved working with students. It has been one of the most challenging, one of the most stressful, but hands down the most probably rewarding experience I've ever had. Seeing students really, understand the material and being able to take it and use it in their career or in a future class is one of the most rewarding things, especially when, you people don't see the behind the scenes of academia, where a lot of faculty pour blood, sweat, and tears to a lot of their, classes and all the stuff that goes with it. And to see students succeed when you put in all that work is a very fulfilling and amazing experience, and something that I would not trade. So I've always loved working in with students. It's one of the reasons I come back to Cyber Patriot as a technical mentor, because I really think it's important and valuable to help train and build the next generation of technology and cybersecurity professionals.
As someone with like a long history with tech, with cybersecurity, whether it be with Cyber Patriot or school curriculum, what do you think is the best? What age would you start hands-on cybersecurity?
So that's a really great question. I think that, with the advent of technology and how prevalent it is in the hands of kids, I think it's important from a young age to really kind of start to instill some of the core like fundamentals of security, how to configure, secure passwords, those kinds of things, being safe on social media, how even like little privacy settings on certain devices can impact the way, you use our technology on a day-to-day basis. So I think that, elementary school, especially since kids have smartphones now, it's definitely a really good time to start having some of those conversations. But really when it's getting to like hands-on, if you really want to go and explore technology or cybersecurity, I'm going to say middle school. I think middle school is kind of that prime time, like 6th to 8th grade, because that also lets you build on those experiences when you're in high school. I know a lot of high school students who get internships while they're in high school, or after high school but before college, with big companies, because there are opportunities there, and these big companies realize that there's young professionals that know a lot about technology and security, so they open opportunities to them to go and explore and learn, with, let's be honest, the goal of hopefully bringing some of them back for another internship, bringing them back for full-time. I mean, it's a pipeline, and it's a very competitive field in terms of hiring. So, the more people you can get in, the early you can get them in, the better.
So these middle school students, in high school or even far into their careers, what would you say to someone who maybe is afraid of joining the cybersecurity or tech field?
Imposter syndrome is real. I talk with a lot of people in the field frequently, including a lot of my friends who I went to school with, and we all feel that way. Whenever I start a new job, I feel that way. It is a field that is continuously growing. You will never know everything. Technology changes on the day to day, but if you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow, you've got those core critical thinking skills, and you're just passionate and really enjoy what you're doing, you can be successful even, if you don't know everything. Apply to jobs that you might not be the perfect fit for, but if you have a bunch of the skills on the list, even if you don't have all of them, even if you're maybe a little short of the years of experience, apply. Because a lot of times we need people in this field. And I could just say, as someone who's been in this field, doing stuff as a student in high school, moving on to a student in college, and then being in the field for a couple of years, and now as an academic teaching at the undergraduate level, I've met a lot of people from all ends of the spectrum, from all walks of life, who are changing their careers or just getting started in middle school. And they share the same passions, they share the same joys of learning some of these things. And I'd say go for it. It's a very rewarding field. And it's a field that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Awesome. I love that response. And how would you say Cyber Patriot has influenced your career and interest? Could you talk a little bit about your experiences with Cyber Patriot?
Yeah, for sure. When I was younger, I always loved playing with Legos. Don't get me wrong, I still love building Legos. I wish there was enough room in my current room for more Legos. So I always thought, I like building things. I like hands-on, stuff. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. That's what I always thought I wanted to be. And then I started Cyber Patriot when I was a freshman in high school, because of one of my early teachers, Alan Stubblefield, who really opened the door to the Cyber Patriot. The first year it became outside of Air Force JROTC programs. And I did it for 4 years. And I think about halfway through my senior year of high school, when I had already applied to college everywhere as a mechanical engineer, I was like, you know what? I could see myself doing the security thing for a living. So it turns out that the one school that I got accepted to, Cal Poly Pomona, I knew the department chair there for the computer information systems program, Dan Manson. And, I went to Cal Poly, I switched my major, and I graduated in 3 years and had a lot of really great experiences while I was there. Because although Cal Poly Pomona is not always thought of as a very cybery school, they have a lot of really great hands-on activities. It's very similar to the way Cyber Patriot kind of hooked me in high school. The collegiate cyber defense competition, the collegiate penetration testing competition, the National Cyber League. There were so many great opportunities of doing these like cool hands-on activities that are almost games, and I would even say a sport, that it had me hooked. And Cyber Patriot will forever have changed my career, because I would have otherwise probably been a mechanical engineer. I would have never known technology the way I know it today, but I did through Cyber Patriot. I mean, I remember back when I was a freshman in Cyber Patriot, I thought I know some stuff about technology. I'll be good at this. No, it was very much a learning curve. And that's the kind of stuff, and my love and passion for that stuff, that has continued to bring me back to, be a technical mentor, to have worked on the national finals competitions at one point. I've always loved Cyber Patriot for the opportunities it gave me and the way it helped guide my future, that I like giving back. And like I said earlier, I really just love seeing students succeed. And I've worked with some really bright middle and high school students that have, at times it's scary, because they'll pick up material better than some of my college students will. So there's some really bright young people out there, and really giving them opportunities is something that I love to see.
That's awesome. As a second voice, I will say that Cyber Patriot has influenced me a lot. But thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate you coming here and talking on the Cyber Talk show.
Thanks for having me. It's been a really great time. Great chatting with you. And best of luck over the next couple of years. Definitely some exciting times ahead for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Kim, and today I will be delivering the opportunity segment, where I will keep you up to speed on any amazing possibilities available to you, such as scholarships, internships, conferences, or anything else you can participate in or apply for. First off, I have a very important question. Do you know how to protect your phone or your laptop? Have you ever been scared of being hacked? Have you ever wondered how companies know that you wanted a new sweater or jeans? Well, don't fret. All these questions can be answered on Safer Internet Day. Now, you may ask, what is Safer Internet Day? Safer Internet Day is on February 9th, hosted by the National Cryptologic Foundation. And if you have pretty good memory, you might remember Mr. Mark Lepker, who actually appeared on one of our last shows in the previous season. And so in honor of learning how to operate safely on the internet, there will be special guests that will join Mr. Lepker and the National Cryptologic Museum Foundation for a panel discussion on the challenges of living and operating on the internet. There will be lots of time for you to ask questions, so make sure to come join on February 9th. You can look on the website for more information, as well as K12CyberTalk.org. And do not worry if you cannot make the live session, there will be a recording so you can watch it for your own time as well too. Now, our next cyber opportunity is NCL, also known as National Cyber League. They're officially starting their spring competition season. NCL is essentially a platform for cybersecurity evaluation and education. And every fall and spring, they host competitions for high school students to test out their own cyber skills. And anyone can join on nationalcyberleague.org. It's also powered by Cyber Skyline, which is also famous for allowing students to learn more about cybersecurity. So the spring 2022 season schedule is released on the website as well too. Registration is open from January 31st through March 25th. There are late registration dates, but try to register before the late registration dates. And the gym is open on January 31st through May 27th. So you can put your cyber skills to the test. Practice games are on March 28th through April 4th. Individual games are April 8th through 10th, and team games are April 22nd through the 24th. Just also please note that all the registration deadlines end at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. What makes NCL so great is that they allow anybody to just learn cybersecurity and play for fun. There are different challenges ranging from easy, medium, and hard, and students will have different opportunities to really put their skills to the test. As a former NCL player, I definitely loved the challenges and the rigor that it had, and I definitely learned so much. There's something about doing hands-on competitions that truly allows you to grow and flourish as a cybersecurity learning student. Therefore, I highly recommend it, and please register for it. And this is not advertised, by the way. I'm saying this because I truly enjoyed the competitions. And finally, but not least, we have Scholarship for Service, which is also known as SFS, which is something that Mr. Matt Sprangle may have talked about. SFS is a very unique program designed to recruit and train the next generation of information technology professionals or people just interested in cybersecurity. SFS provides scholarships for up to 3 years of support for cybersecurity undergraduate and graduate education. These scholarships are actually funded through grants that are awarded by the National Science Foundation. And in exchange for these scholarships, the recipients must agree to work after graduation for the US government in a position related to cybersecurity. Moreover, to be eligible for consideration for an SFS scholarship, a student must be a citizen or a resident of the United States and be a full-time student pursuing a bachelor's or master's degree that is somewhat related to cybersecurity. Unfortunately, not all universities participate in SFS, but there are specific participating universities that have their own specific application and selection process. And below are all the list of schools that are participating in the SFS scholarship. If you're interested about Matt Springle's story, or if you're interested in applying the scholarship for yourself, you should definitely check the website out, and I will link the websites down below. Also, don't worry if you did not catch all the links or information. No need to write everything down as we have everything online. You can check out our blog posts at www.k12cybertalk.org to see all the opportunities and information listed out so you can apply. Good luck, and thank you for watching our show for the second season of K12 CyberTalk. Unfortunately, this is the end of the show, but we hope you enjoyed it. Our next show will be posted on K12CyberTalk.org, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to catch you next time. Stay cyber safe, everyone.